You all freaked me out. Whoa, what was at the end there? And here we are. Oh. Okay, whoa, let's not click on that. This is Frontier of the Mines. Oh boy, we gotta investigate an older computer. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. There's gonna be so much goodies. So much goodies? So much stuff and a lot of goodies to find. Look at the CD-ROM. Oh god, it's already horrifying. Oh, I don't like this music. Okay, I guess we'll go with these like in experiments. Entity, oh god. Okay, so Maze Masters. Between 1987 and 1994, the British channel Network 7 broadcast 112 episodes of the TV game show Maze Masters, an interactive adventure targeting younger audiences. Oh boy. Produced by Third Eye Pictures Studio during 8 seasons, Maze Masters was an adventure role-playing game staging groups of teenagers trapped inside a castle. Oh boy, reminds me of Trapped in a way. Bertram, the dungeon master, selected the adventurer who had put on a helmet which partially blinded them. In theory, the contestant could only see their own feet and nothing of the world around. Their 3 companions helped them from afar. Only those companions could see the rooms and the trials. Oh man. This does sound pretty cool though. Every episode followed the same pattern, although the riddles and settings could change. Only some parts of the show were aired. Why? Did somebody die? The different sections of the CD-ROM explore the format and the backstage of this show. The idea is to shed new light on the strange events which have been revealed afterwards. Oh yeah, leading to some arrests, I see. The names and last names of all persons involved were changed and their faces digitally transformed to make them even more horrifying. Then 5 years after the end of the show, the truth about the mystery surrounding Third Eye Pictures' activities has not yet been verified with certainty. Therefore, we wish to protect the anonymity of the persons involved. Great. Let's go to players, I guess. Oh my god. Casting, the Dungeon Master. Controversies, the Bristol Kids. Casting. The children chosen to take part in the show were selected according to a particular process. First, they had to send a cover letter to the production and to give a certain number of details, such as their school reports, their hobbies, and the sports they practiced, along with all of their food intolerances and medical treatments. Okay. When their applications were accepted via standard letter, the kids were invited to go to the closest audition. See, what does that say? Your son-daughter's team should attend for audition at the above address. See map for directions. Please report to security Blair, who will direct you to the appropriate room. We have tried to minimize any delays for participants in the audition, but it should be noted that teams may have to wait 15 to 20 minutes for the audition. Please complete and return as soon as possible the slip at the foot of this page confirming your attendance to these auditions. Okay. Goodness, this, guessing that's the audition room. Once there, they were introduced to the show writers and to the members of the shooting crew. Then the casting directors would have them pass a test called Intuition Test, which according to the witnesses was probably a sort of disguised Gansfeld protocol. Whatever that means. Oh, so I wonder if this is like a weird psychic kind of thing. Like testing to see if they have any psychic abilities. And then they chose like the best psychic to use for the show, like with the helmet. My brain is so big. If this turns out to be true, I'm giving myself a big old pat on the back. Like right about here. You wait. Gansfeld experiment. I don't know what that is. The kids had to take a telepathy test involving cards covered with specific symbols and during which they had to guess the Xena card chosen by their companion. I'm thinking I might be right. The children always described this experience as a funny session, and apparently they never realized they were taking a cognitive test. In all likelihood, the kids' roles during the show was determined by the results of those tests. I'm telling you, that's what it's gonna be. Allegedly, the child with the lowest results was assigned to wear the helmet during the episode. Okay, so I got it backwards, but hey, I'm still, you know, you know. Therefore, the choice made by the Dungeon Master was not arbitrary, had been planned long before. As with all TV. What? I knew I saw something the other... It's like skipping over. That's weird. A few days later, the kids would receive a phone call telling them if they were selected or not. Well, I mean, surely they should already know that if they're all psychic and stuff. The Dungeon Master. Bertram was the main figure in this adventure. He was both a companion and a potential threat. Wall Monster? Lilith, Monk plus CK Guardian. Okay. His objective was to help the players when they needed assistance and to make their journey harder if they sailed through the challenge. He knew by heart all the rules of the game, and he has access to the solutions of all the riddles in the castle. As the Dungeon Master, Bertram controlled the game's rhythm. In case of conflict, he was the only judge entitled to decide. I see. However, several members of the studio asserted that he was wearing an earpiece during the shootings. Bertram is an iconic character of the show, and he left his mark on a whole generation of young viewers. He's gonna be a psychic as well, I guarantee it. Although the investigation revealed that he knew nothing about Third Eye Pictures' doings, Bertram got himself noticed for other reasons. Several letters of complaint were sent to Network 7's headquarters, reporting the fainting fits, migraines, and headaches affecting some children. Weird. Several letters... Oh yeah, I've already read that. These incidents mostly happened when the actor would perform the Bertram stare during the final shot of the episodes. Yeah, it's gonna be like a weird psychic thing. This stare is described by young viewers as hypnotical and terrifying. Several adults reported having similar reactions while watching those sequences. Dungeon Master is the only character who was never replaced during the 8 seasons of the show. Whoa, what happened there? Alright, controversies. During the game, the children seemed delighted, and it positively affected the show. The audience ratings were among the best of the channel, and the show even won several prizes, thanks, notably, to the wonderful work of the writers' crew and of the artists in charge of the show's artistic direction. As for the different experimental protocols, they were always so subtle and so well designed that there were never any suspicion. And they never disturbed the kids in the short and medium term. What do you mean? What were you doing? At the end of each adventure, the kids would receive a certificate on which was written a text supposed to cleanse the different parapsychic suggestions to which they had been exposed. What? Okay. Although we do not know the exact number of accidents which occurred, two of them have been certified. The first one involves prototype number 2. This version of the helmet made it possible to show the adventurer's mental health in real time, thanks to the captors connected to the pulse and to the back of the kid's eye. Ew! The software was supposed to display a face which would change color according to the stress level of the player. Okay. How did you put it in the back of the eyeball? During one episode, the face suddenly turned into something gruesome. The skin was peeling off on its own until there was nothing left but a sinister skull. Ew. The kid wearing the helmet started to cry uncontrollably, and the episode had to be stopped in order to remove the device from the helmet. The second incident is even more striking, and apparently it is not related to the helmet itself, since no particular device had been integrated during this episode. Weird. In the course of discussion with the jester, the player suddenly had an important nosebleeds beneath the helmet. The so-called nosebleed episodes turned out to be the starting point of the problems related to the jester. See, the jester incident. Oh god, okay. The Bristol Kids. The cases of the Bristol Kids date back to the pilot episode, which was supposed to convince potential broadcasters to buy the show. The contestants were around 14 years old at the time of the shooting in 1986, and there must be around 30 today. We ignored the protocols the players were exposed to, and it took several years for the disturbing points to be revealed. The 4 young winners pursued brilliant studies right after the show, although they had initially had low to middle grades at school. Interesting. They had all developed particular skills in biology and math, so that they skipped several years and joined a special curriculum. Oh, weird. So is he like trying to change intelligence for the better? So like when they ask for the school reports, they're taking on like the low grading students intentionally? The most disturbing element is that those young people did not know each other before the show, and they did not keep in touch in any particular way after the shooting. Eventually, in 1996, the 4 former contestants were invited all together and by chance to the prize-giving ceremony of a mathematics award, and that is where they connected the dots. Weird. Ew. Proving the connection with the show would ultimately involve some speculations, but their participation to Maze Master's pilot episode is the only common point between those 4 gifted persons. That's weird. So no similar event has been reported with the other contestants. Okay, or maybe it wasn't supposed to be the low grading kids, who knows? Okay, let's go to the characters. Oh god, the Jester incident. Allies! During their adventure, the groups would meet several allies willing to help them. These all seem quite nice. In addition to the Dungeon Master, they could rely on the assistance of Maldor the Chamberlain. Well, he seems rather magical. He could be prankish and slightly terrifying, but he never refused to help the adventurers. Easily identifiable with his red gown and his crown of white hair, his help often appeared as clues related to the forthcoming riddles. The contestants could also walk into Selma the Shepherdess, a young woman lost in the castle too. She never clearly explained how she arrived here, but she would give the contestants advice and directions. She looks a little bit like Sarah Jane. Don't know what it is. The help of Cora the Sentinel could be determinant. This mercenary from the marshes surrounding the castle knew all the weaknesses of all the entities abounding in the place. Okay. Other characters would appear occasionally. Garen the Apothecary, mischievous and wily. Alina, the Crimson Princess, the only bearer of the crystal rings. The character list is still long. Melvadesh, the groom, keeper of the dragon's eyes, King Khan's servant. Bagat, the innkeeper, well versed in the gossips going around the castle. Oswald, King Khan's counselor, compulsive gambler but faithful advisor. Salkus, the shapeshifter elf. We do not know any of his other forms. Okay, Merdin the Wizard, descendant of the first druid. He was the only character who could bring a contestant back to life? Do you mean hype like in the game? So like, oh, they lost, that means they're dead and they're out, and they can bring them back into the game? Or it's in these kids were dying? Okay. Let's go to the enemies, shall we? Oh, good. Unfortunately, Maze Masters, the enemies outnumbered the allies. In this section, only the human-shaped antagonists are listed and no other kinds of creatures. See entities. Okay, Lord Fear was one of the most striking ones, as the final enemy the adventurers would fight in the throne room at the end of their journey. Let's see, he ruled over several sadistic henchmen blindly serving his dark ambitions. Weird lizard man. Aside from the Dark Lord, there was Queen Nargol, who could control the main entities of the castle. She seems nice. His faithful servant and counselor was the Jester himself. Okay, so the Jester was an enemy. As from season 4, new enemies would appear in the show. It's getting a little bit weird. Oh, okay. Okay. He doesn't want me to see that last one. Okay, let's look at the cast turnover. What's up with the weird music? Oh, I don't like that. Although the incidents related to the cast of the show remain quite minor, they are no less noteworthy considering the evolutions discovered later. It appeared that some actors got so lost in their roles that they were unable to break character. The actress playing Liliana was found asleep on an unsaddled horse somewhere in London suburbs. And the performer playing Watan the Wizard set his garage on fire while trying to find the Philosopher's Stone. Yet cast turnover certainly remains one of the most curious element. Except for a few rare exceptions, most of the actors refused to keep their roles after their first shooting. Wow. Many reasons were mentioned, but the most common one was related to issues with the catering on the set, and in particular with the presence of something in the meat. Ew, what was that? Okay, we're not allowed to see what was in the meat. The jester incident. Ooh. Oh, this looks weird. Wait, what? What? Oh, I don't like this. Oh my god, he is freaky. You are freaky. You're freaking me out. Oh, he's seen me. He's staring into my soul. He's coming to get me. He's gonna crawl up this TV ring style. Ooh. Please don't punch me in the face. That's how I make my money. Okay. You're nice and freaky. Was that all? That doesn't really give me too much info to go on. But okay, let's go to the rooms. Safe rooms, lethal rooms, color rooms, and secret rooms. Interesting. Safe rooms. Oh my god. Enigma rooms, encounter rooms, empty rooms, and healing rooms. Let's see what the Enigma rooms are. Although there were many dangerous rooms in Maze Masters, the adventurers could take a break in some of them. Yeah, they seem a little bit weird. The first ones were called Enigma rooms, and they were of all sorts. Math riddles, brain teasers, rebus puzzle, or anagrams. In those rooms, the 3 assistant players could be particularly useful. Bertram would only give clues if the team manifested signs of weakness. Okay, encounter rooms. Encounter rooms were rooms where the bearer of the helmet would meet a character or a peaceful creature. That's nice. On a very few occasions, an Enigma room could serve as an encounter room. Empty rooms were statistically very rare, but they could still be found from time to time. They could be mistaken for the rooms inhabited by wall monsters. Although they could offer a short break, they were neglected by the adventurers who never stayed there for long. I mean, I don't really blame them. Some said they felt uncomfortable in those rooms, while others would explicitly speak of the fear they inspired them. Weird. But the most common emotion mentioned by the contestants is that of a feeling of unbearable melancholia. It's a room of psychic energy. Despite their very young age, the contestants said they experienced the emotions of an old person on the verge of death. Oh, that's kind of freaky. Some of them would feel regrets and remorse related to notions they could not explain. The production eventually stopped using those empty rooms due to the players' negative feedback. However, some of those rooms never ceased to appear in spite of this decision, triggering a wave of panic and confusion among the production crew. So they just kept appearing. That's freaky. So unless they like sap out energy, like their psychic abilities, I don't know. Healing rooms were rather rare but appreciated when they appeared. They gave the adventurers a few precious health points, and without them, some teams would probably have failed. In addition to these rooms, some items from the choice trial could provide some health points. During the last scene of the adventure, the players could also receive some bonus points, according to the number of health points remaining at the end of the journey. Okay, now to lethal rooms. Bomb rooms, trap rooms, night rooms, and random rooms. Great! They sound fun. Let's see, some rooms contain huge bombs set up by Lord Fear's henchmen. Well, that's not ideal. If the player stepped into one of those rooms, their friends had only 30 seconds to guide the player towards the closest exit. Did they die if they didn't make it? If they could not do it within the allotted time, the bomb exploded and the game was lost. Wow. That was just instant death. Oh. That looks a little covered in blood. Okay, trap rooms it is. Apart from the bomb rooms, the players could also walk into what was called a trap room. These are really cool designs, by the way. There were different types of them, and just like the bomb rooms, the player had to follow their friends' indications in order to escape the threats. Oh man. Circular saws? Blades tied to pendulums, huge gaps in the ground. There were a great number of threats. Did these kids just straight up die? If they failed, the players would lose points. If the number of health points reached 0, the game was over. It's that weird skull again. Against all odds, no incident was reported in those rooms during the show. Yeah, none were reported, but it doesn't mean none happened. Night rooms. I don't like how the music just shifted to something super eerie. The night rooms rarely appeared, but they made an impact when they did. The bearer of the helmet had to find a way to cunningly escape the wrath of the enemies. Ew. Galahad appeared in one of those rooms. So far, the production crews have asserted that they still ignore how the statue displayed in the headquarters hall had appeared, or what kind of mechanism brought it to life. Oh, that's great! Even if the contestants' injuries were harmless, this event is one of the reasons behind the show's cancellation. That is weird, so it just came to life. The random rooms are the least documented rooms, since none of them were aired on TV. They looked more or less like normal rooms, and the only feature would set them apart was that the apparition of specific enemies in those rooms. The only random room which could be recorded off-air was one containing the Pit Brain, as it was called by those who mentioned it. Nonetheless, they were unable to describe their interactions with this entity. Big entity with big psychic abilities? Maybe? Okay, well, down to the color rooms. So we got green, red, yellow, and blue. Gameplay of the green rooms was particularly distinctive. When a contestant stepped into one of them, they had to roll a dice, and the dice itself would then appear in the room. That's cool. It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh hologram type thing. It's flying quite fast at him. Once the dice rolled, it turned into a kind of portal emerging in the room. It was actually a gate which would take the player to another part of the castle, and the exact location was decided by the dice results. This mechanism appeared in several episodes. During one episode in season 3, the portal apparently opens a gateway to a dark and terrifying dimension. This place was systematically called the Dark Place by all the contestants who came back from it. This incident happened twice during seasons 6 and 8. The feelings described by the contestants expressed sudden and frightening existential angst, which would follow them until the last scene of their adventure. See healing rooms. The contestant who went to the furthest point in the heart of this dimension found what seemed to be a watchtower. He mentioned a dreadful presence overlooking them from the tower, but he remained unable to define it. How strange. There were weird things happening here. The red rooms were located in a zone called the Stomach, a kind of organic mental hell designed to try the contestants' nerves. Ew! This is so weird. The issues with the meat started right after the first apparition of the setting, and in all likelihood, those two elements were connected. Yeah, I'd say so. After a few airings of the setting, the production definitely removed it, since they had received many complaints from families who deemed it too gory for such young audiences. Yeah! What is this? Okay, yellow rooms. What? What? What is this? What is that? Ew! Okay, we can't look at the yellow rooms. We'll look at the blue rooms. What is that? Up to now, the blue rooms have remained mysterious. Okay, created by 3 or J as some sort of mental trial which could only be crossed with a substantial mental health. The blue rooms would trigger particular visions related to a dizzying dimension reminiscent of brutalism. Okay. Every contestant, even remotely fragile, could only stay there for a very few moments, and they all mentioned a heavy feeling of sadness. What is that? Ew! The corridor leading to this dimension in itself was a challenge to cross. Notably, there were cruel imps and a horrible giant with a distorted face. Great. I love that. If the contestants manage to avoid them, they can step into the zone. Several images have been recorded, but their content makes every attempt to analyze them useless. Jay's pages on this matter seem to have disappeared from his research notebooks. What? It feels kind of SCP-esque. Like SCP, Backrooms, analog horror kind of vibes. That is very, very strange. Secret rooms it is! Oh, dark room. Okay, it doesn't want me to see dark rooms. Meat rooms! Oh boy, I love the sound of that. This section addresses one of the strangest mysteries surrounding the show. Right after the first jester left, a certain number of events happens, all meat related. Apart from the panic concerning the catering, several rooms in the castle were found packed with the pieces of rotten meat taking place of the props that were supposed to be there. Ew! Even if the crew in charge of the scenery denied everything, the events blew out of proportion in increasingly troubled ways. Delicious egg meat. The production even had to install security cameras on the set in order to try and identify the culprit, but it remained useless. It would seem that the meat appeared on its own. Apparently, the radical decision from season 6 introducing 3-dimensional sceneries put an end to those manifestations. Why? That's weird. Aura rooms. The different documents found after Jay went missing. Missing? Proved that he was particularly interested in aura phenomena and the Curlian effect. Whee! A step-by-step description of how to color in your... I don't know what that says. Nice and shiny. Shiny leaf. Obsessed with all the alternative ways that would allow him to corroborate his theories, Jay was convinced that auras could confirm the efficiency of his protocols. In one of the rooms of the castle, there were special cameras which could capture and show auras on screen. Quite unexpectedly, only the aura of the room itself appeared, but no human presence was recorded by the captor. Quite unexpectedly, only the aura of the... Oh, I keep doing that. That's really weird. So it's something about the room, but it doesn't even bother with people. However, the room seemed to glow with different colors according to the number of health points the contestants had. Okay. Since the results were not satisfying enough, the process was quickly dismissed. I mean, there's clearly something there. Okay, well rooms. The well rooms would appear at random. If a well had actually been built especially for the needs of the show, the original prop painted by an artist disappeared from the studio. Oh good, after this theft, wells started to emerge from the ground in random scenes. Just like the meat apparitions, this issue was stopped by the shift to digital sceneries. The most striking well was the one leading to the purple dimension, see keys. What? Great! Okay, so those are the rooms done. Now onto the entities. Wall monsters, that's horrifying. Wall monsters were special features of the show, and we find very few similar examples in other bestiaries of legendary creatures. Ew. It is difficult to say if they were allies or enemies since their behavior was always unpredictable. They would randomly appear in empty rooms and nothing in particular seemed to announce their arrival. So as in they appear in empty rooms or they appear in the empty room type? So they're very different things. If the wall monsters made sure to terrify the assistant players, they were only a voice for the bearer of the helmet. What? So they... what? Somehow they represented the spirit of the castle, they knew its history, and they had watched the adventures of all the players. When we tried to decipher their particular way to communicate, we find in their words a sort of ancient wisdom. Ew. Their size and colors revealed how dangerous they could become. However, their production crews asserted that they were not to blame for the apparition of a face in the altar room during the season 4 finale. Okay, creatures. Oh my good god! Okay, I can't even click on... all of them. I can only click on, I guess, some of them when it lets me. Okay. Okay, well, I guess we're not looking at any of the creatures. The anomalies. Oh, this is good. Oh, that's the Majora's Mask moon. That's terrifying. That's Jigsaw. Hello, Shadow Man. Oh, somebody's swimming. I know what this is. Marble room. Ooh. Hi. Hello. They all look dead. An eye meats tube. Delicious. Don't know what's going on in there. You all freaked me out. Whoa, what was at the end there? Okay, on to objects. That's fine by me. There is food. The contestants choosing food during the choice trial expressed their need for energy and motivation. The players seem to develop different physical or cognitive capacities according to the product that they would choose. The only incident happened in episode 7, season 3, when a roasted chicken was offered to the contestant during the choice trial. The player started to weep with joy, hit by a fit of neurotic euphoria in front of the chicken, and the sequence had to be interrupted. I mean, it is chicken. I don't blame him. I do not blame him. It was the first and last time that cooked food was offered during the show. Ah. One guy has to spoil it for the rest of us. Fruits and vegetables. The contestants favoring fruits and vegetables during the choice trial manifested a need for vitality and energy, or an overwhelming thirst for life. Yummy. Apparently, vegetables were a more psychological sort of food, whereas the fruits seemingly affected the players on a physiological plan. Plan? Do you mean plane? Okay. Gold! Each contestant who would choose the gold bar seemed to be searching for eternity and inner wealth. It's the jester again. The longing for accomplishment was almost pathological, and it often appeared through hasty and inconsiderate decisions and through overconfident reactions. What is that? Ew! Why is it just like a rotting dude back here? Am I going crazy? And yet the contestants who would choose gold usually led their team to victory. Okay, we're just gonna ignore that then, I guess. The contestant who would choose the key expressed a longing for freedom and knowledge, a need to unlock a zone in their own mind or to express their determination to resolve complex inner conflict. Okay. Apparently, a specific protocol was implemented to the bearers of the helmet who would choose the key. Many among them could access the Land of Dream. The process generally followed these steps. When a contestant chose the key, it triggered the apparition of a special well in one of the nearby rooms. Okay. If the contestant decided to step into it, they could access this purple dimension, as Jay would sometimes call it in his note. There's a face in there! There's a face! There's a face! I don't like it. In all likelihood, one of those extra dimensional translocations gave the greatest number of results. Why is there so much blood? The dimension was finally detected thanks to the technology integrated to the helmet number 4. The images show a dominant feature of pink-purple color, but we ignore if this dimension really adopted those colors or if it was an effect produced by the recording process. Meatballs? Ew! After the descent into the well, the contestant would reach a forest. Several explorers of the purple dimension mention the apparition of doors which seem to lead into the darkness. Don't go step into them. If they step through one of those doors, the contestant would be brought back to the initial forest. Huge breathing meatballs would then appear. I knew they were meatballs! Why are they breathing? Network 7 Studios apparently caught fire right when Jay tried to make a more thorough map of the zone. The only human figure who could be found there was a sort of mute ferryman who never reacted to the contestants' solicitations. Okay, On to pie. The kids who would choose the pie expressed a need to share or, on the contrary, a yearning for acknowledgement. These are all these big bones. The pies were presented a few times to the contestants, and those who would choose them seemed to be more likely to find themselves in the yellow rooms. We weren't able to see what was in the yellow rooms. The pies in the show were prepared in a nearby bakery which has never accepted to reveal the recipe, a family heritage from generation to generation. That sounds like a great pie. Stones! Several precious stones were offered to the contestants. Those who would take them during the choice trial expressed through this decision a need for anchoring or for personal stability. Several stones of colours were submitted during the trials, and apparently the red ones were the stones that would trigger the greatest number of negative reactions among the contestants. Cabbage? Well, how excellent. Onto the glove that keeps appearing and everything. Each contestant who would choose the glove sought a feeling of protection and safety, but also expressed a need for limits. Choosing the glove could be useful to solve the struggles the team could meet, or it could reveal a much more personal need from the bearer of the helmet. The fabric the gloves were made of affected the statistical frequencies of that choice. The contestants seemed to prefer the real leather gloves, and they never chose the gloves made of synthetic fibers. Well, that's weird. And another skull. Flask! A great number of distinctive flasks were presented to the contestants. So we got something. Homer. What? They were labeled with tags, supposed to give information about their contents. It was proved later that those flasks were filled with sand, oil, or bicarbonate of soda. Yummy? Each contestant who would choose the flask expressed a yearning for fierce motivation or luck. The contestants seemed more unlikely to take interest in the flasks with the more grotesque names on the tag. Fair enough. The corks were sealed after season 2 when a contestant drank a whole flask of oil before the crew could react. Interesting choice to start chugging. Weapon! Every weapon submitted to the contestant's choice was fake. The players who would choose a weapon were sometimes motivated by a desire for revenge or by a feeling of depreciation. When there was a weapon on the table, it was systematically chosen. Worried by the message it would deliver, the production eventually decided to considerably reduce their presence until they were finally completely dismissed, despite Jay's sharp disapproval. I can speak England. Symbol! Whoa! Okay, I won't choose the symbol. Sorry. Bone! All the contestants who would select the bone during the choice trial seemed to be motivated by a need for rebirth or for a sort of psychological reinvention. Okay. Choosing the bone was about accepting your own ending in order to live again. Each contestant selecting this object would often display signs of excitement and a great physical condition, along with a disconcerting ease to move around in spite of the helmet. What was that? Oh, the bone came from somebody's body. That was... ew. Oh boy, miscellaneous. Among all the objects offered to the contestants, some of them did not belong to any particular category. Nice skull ring. A jug in the shape of a buffalo horn. A jog? I don't know what that is. A spell book. A figurine. An hourglass. A dish towel. A bar soap. A vase. A bell. Cool! Well, thanks for that. Oh, goody. On to the experiments. Helmet, remote viewing, hallucinogens, brain camera. Guys, what are you doing? Okay, we won't look at the helmet. That's fine. Remote viewing it is. After Jay went missing, it appeared from the different documents which were found that he was particularly interested in experiments related to remote viewing. Ew. Jay was captivated by the CIA's research on this matter, and he had consulted the entirety of the research conducted by Russell Targ and Harold Puthoff, I think, at Stanford University. So I wonder if this is like an MK Ultra kind of thing. In his notes, Jay mentions a mysterious Oracle project which we believe and we believe it could be related to Protocol 12. During the last 3 seasons of Maze Masters, the helmet was probably equipped with a device allowing for a kind of remote viewing, but no proof of results related to that research has ever been found. Okay. Okay. It didn't want to show me that bit. Hallucinogens! Nope. Nope. Brain camera? Okay. Good. More it is. Third Eye Pictures, Theories, Archives, Network 7, Missing Footage, Bonus, and Back. The information given in this section, to a certain extent, is speculative. It discusses the doings of a certain J and the different groups he supervised, the Self Bureau, the Dream Clinic, and at the same time of the events, Third Eye Pictures. Jay's scandalous personality and his different aliases, not to mention the eccentric gossips about him, have all blurred entire parts of his biography. According to certain elements from our investigations, this individual known as James Jeremy Jacob Jasper came from Wales, and he could be around blank years old today. If this person was indeed identified by several witnesses who spent time with him, there is no trace of Jay or his aliases in the British Administrative Archives. 5 years after the events, a certain number of former members have accepted to speak out, enlightening us concerning a few elements about their experience. Oh my god, origins and precepts, TV production, movie production, controversies. Oh my god. The Self Bureau. We can find no trace of Jay, who was known as Jacob at the time, before he arrived at Cambridge University to study psychology. He attended the course delivered by Devon Kay, who quickly became his mentor. As a specialist of altered states of consciousness, he taught Jay the fundamentals of parapsychology. What? Dentist of the Year? We ignore the true extent of the collaboration, but it becomes more than an academic one. What do you mean? Jay would spend all of his time in his teacher's lab, and he had to retake a year on account of his many absences. 4 years later, Devon Kay was diagnosed with a rare disease and left the academic world. Jay was described by his classmates as one of the best in their year group, but also as the strangest one. What was that? For instance, he had no doubt about the scientific validity of extrasensorial perceptions, ESP, and the models of their practical application. He was often described as an unfriendly man, and yet a little group of students would always spend time with him. After their bachelor's degree, they created together a student society called the Self Bureau. Due to the nature of their experiments, which the university has never wanted to reveal, the young members of Bureau were sent down right before their PhD viva. Okay, that's cool. The members of the Bureau moved to Birmingham, and there was no signs of them for a while. And I guess that's it for that one. The Dream Clinic! We were finally able to track them down 3 years after the Cambridge incident. At the time, Jacob was called Jasper. They had settled in the medical centre in Birmingham suburb. Internally, they called it the Dream Clinic, and they used the building both as a living and a working place. In this clinic, they conducted several experiments related to REM sleep and to the psychic states of inconsistent consciousness. Microphone to record snoring, nasal cannula monitoring airflow, electrodes monitoring brainwaves, eye movements, and muscle activity, electrodes monitoring movements, respiration belts to monitor breathing, finger oximeter monitoring blood oxygen levels. The treatments were free, and the candidates to the experiments were paid. We cannot explain how the group managed to find such an important source of funding at the time. For 5 years, Jasper and his team carried on their research without anyone noticing. Apparently, something happened in 1981, since the group split up that year and Jasper disappeared again. Thanks to the testimony given by Terence B., we were able to trace the nature of the research conducted by Jasper, but also the reasons behind the dissensions of the group. During the first 2 years, the team made a major breakthrough decisive for the forthcoming events. Some weird artwork happening. They agreed they had identified a dream dimension containing spatio-persistent places and zones which could be visited. So I'm guessing this is then what turned, potentially, into the castle, and like all those different zones. The starting point of their discovery was the case of Norma T., a young woman suffering from night terrors since childhood. Ew. Thanks to an ultrasound therapy treatment paired with hypnotic suggestions, Jasper managed to help the patient. That's cool. But Norma became subject to recurring oniric visions, which lasted several weeks. Jasper used the same treatment on other volunteers in the clinic, and the results exceeded their expectations. They experienced the same visions, and they became systematic, despite the complete isolation of the patients. At first, the images were peaceful. A little bridge leading to a calm sea. A majestic tree bathed in light. It seems more fire, but there's the clouds. As they walked further into the dreamlands, the visions became more symbolical, even mystical. The candidates mentioned visions showing huge eyes staring at them and a face of cyclopean size. Okay, that's weird. All the candidates explained that after a little while, they would see a sort of tunnel or an arc shaped by trees. And at the end of this strange corridor, a door or a gateway would appear. All the candidates explained that after a little while, they would see a sort of tunnel. That is strange. There's a lot of like doors and portals in this. As they got closer to this gate, the candidates would show signs of tachycardia. Some of them would also be subject to vomiting. Okay, we suppose this is a moment when the group started to split. Jasper and two of his most faithful followers really wanted to see what was behind that door. The other members expressed a certain unease concerning the uncontrolled protocol and possible side effects. Possible effects on the candidates who had not given their full consent. Despite those dissensions, one last experiment was conducted on 10 or so candidates who were given anti-nausea medicine. All the subjects said that after stepping through the door, they experienced a stream of traumatizing or nightmarish images. It could have been a case of phobic hallucinations from traumatic memories or about death. Maybe. The dreamers mentioned a huge house lost in the middle of an empty and sinister heath. That's where Courage the Cowardly Dog lives. Once they had stepped into the house, the candidates could see stairs and a checked patterned floor. The house seemed empty, but they all mentioned a heavy feeling in the chest and a metallic taste in the mouth. Among the three candidates who climbed up the stairs, two of them mentioned their meeting with a young girl standing among wooden flotsams. When she spoke, no word came out of her mouth, only a strange sound of wood cracking and breaking. The last witness mentioned a meeting with a spectral entity carrying a gladiator sword, and he explained that he woke up the moment he tried to get closer. Evidently, the candidates were deeply troubled by this experience. The peaceful visions had given way to unclear but terrifying scenes. Some of them left this clinic in the middle of the night without even taking their belongings. The dissident part of the group threatened to call the police. An argument broke out and some of the members came to blows. Jasper ran away at dawn with his partner and two other adepts. They took with them a few files, some materials, and the remaining cash. The Prague years. We only know a few things about this period, but several compatible elements confirm that Jay and his acolytes went into hiding somewhere around Prague. They became extremely discreet, and it would seem that they were invited by an acquaintance on site. We found no trace of rent or bills under their names, but after the fire at Network 7 Studios, we did find a few pictures in Jay's office. They apparently lived in reclusion. However, a great number of parcels were delivered to the address of their living place. It's like kind of like a culty feeling now. The inquiry established that they contained books. The number of volumes is likely to have represented Jay's important esoteric collection found in the studio. See Archives Books. 2 years ago, an independent journalist discovered a book written by the couple during their Prague years but published in the United States, entitled Dreams, Transform Your Life Through the Power of Dreams. It introduces different techniques related to dream control. Here are the names of a few chapters. Painting the imaginary tree, taking a mental self-portrait, the third eye, identifying your personal archetypes, building a house of dreams, sketching dreams, digging into the unconscious, learning to fly on the dream highway, posing a visual question, building a dream temple, setting your dream self free. Weird, okay. TV productions. As soon as he came back to the United Kingdom, Jay put a lot of money in different kids' TV programs on cable channels. Here are a few noteworthy examples. The Crankies electronic comic. Galloping Galaxies. Ghost Train. The Computer Program. Alphabet Zoo. The Trapdoor. Terror Towers. Alias the Jester. Is it the same one? Interesting. Movie productions. Got Prison Kill. Meatballs! Meatballs. The Meat Man. Brain Feast. Between 1990 and 1995, Jay funded through his affiliated company called Third Eye Movies 8 feature films thanks to the benefits collected with Maze Masters. Most of them were immediately released on VHS and they can no longer be found, although all of them are horror movies. We can notice in the course of the years a shift towards an increasingly gory and deviant content. A surprising choice for a production studio that specializes in kids' TV shows. You can click on each tape to see some of the photograms from each movie. Can I? Oh, yes I can. Oh my god. Evil Eye, Dead Planet, Dark Hole, Death Trap. Oh good. Prison Kill. Ew. Cool. I wonder what movies these are from. Ew! Evil Eye. Oh, I wonder if these are actual movies, now that I think about it. Oh man. These look weird. Dead Planet, that looks gross. Oh no, human-sized jars. You know what that means. So you reused the shot of... They're reusing shots here. Lazy, you're lazy. Look at these. You're just reusing shots, what are you doing? Yeah, drill that. Oh. Okay, I might have to blur that one, but that's fine. Ew. Meatballs! Oh, she's getting choked out by a meatball. That kind of looks like, Dr. Frankenfurter. Frankfurter, one of them. That's horrifying. Ew! Ew, these things look weird. Ah, Dracula, that's, he was all melty. Death Trap, you're a fairy. So are you. You're dead. Ew. Dark Hole, my favorites. I don't know what's coming out of your nose. That's weird. Meat Man, you're freaky. You're very freaky. Ew. Ew. Okay, well this J guy is a little bit weird. Controversies. Okay, or not. Theories. Oh my god. Okay. Williams. Multiverse. Secret Service. Pocket Dimension. Hallucinations. Tulpa theory. There we go. Mongolian throat singing. Some theories argue that the contestants might have created, without knowing, some sort of illusory tulpas. Whatever that means. Tulpas are entities or realities materializing themselves only through one's willpower only. Wow, okay. Magic and Mystery of Tibet. In Tibet. 2 long pages from one of Jay's notebooks enthusiastically analyzed Alexandra David Neal's writings dating from her Tibetan period, telling about the tulpa she had created and destroyed while she was in Tibet. Okay, cult theory? The theory according to which Jay behaved like a guru with the people around him is unfortunately quite solid. I mean, that's what I was saying. From the Self Bureau to the Third Eye Pictures, he never stopped pursuing parascientific goals colored with New Age nuances. That's a weird image. Oh, but it's those cards that he was using. Among almost all his adepts refused to talk to us, most of them seem to be fearing for their life. It can be noted that today, Jay is still somewhere outside, and it could explain their reluctance to speak out. Among all the research undertaken by Jay, none of them stray from this burning need to seek a door beyond the frontiers of the mind and stretch to the limits of perception. They're a bunch of weirdos! Oh, and it was all kinds of weird at the end there. Cover-up theory. Mind control. Shadow people. Oh. Uh-oh. Aside from the events from the TV show, Notebook 7's premises gained a certain reputation in the British paranormal small circles. Several members of the production crews mentioned strange apparitions on some of the photographs taken during the shootings. That's not good. Although the official investigation ignored this aspect, several theories pointed out the possibility that those apparitions could be connected to the different dimensions which had been explored. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's freaky. The most persistent ones argued that those manifestations could have been caused by a communicating vessel's phenomenon. Okay. If a contestant entered the dream dimension, one of the shadow people would appear in our reality. Aside from those strange pictures, which could not be asserted as authentic, no other elements can support this theory. However, the fact that those entities appeared during occurrences of sleep paralysis remains disturbing, given the similarities connecting them to Jay's research. Good! Dream worlds! Indigo children! Can't see them. Archives! Oh, good. Photographs. Ooh. Ew. Okay, why are they all weird? Oh, that's a lot of blood and stuff. Okay. Freaky! So all of these are just, slightly on the horrifying side, from what I can make out. But that's fine. It's fine. Okay, that was not as freaky. That's cool. It's like a. If you want to go like Stranger Things, like an upside down version of what we're seeing, like an alternate dimension kind of freakiness. And these are very weird. There's like lots of meat and meat related things. Like there's the meat rooms, there's something weird in the meat, there's meatballs, and then all the meat movies this guy made. I don't really get what his obsession with meat is, but who am I to judge? If you want to be obsessed with meat, that's your thing, I'm not going to take that away from you. I clicked on the wrong one! There we go. Well, how excellent. I'm glad we got to see all those. Books! The books listed below are all found by the firemen in Jay's office. They are parts of the rare documents which survived the fire at the studio. The pseudoscientific content of most of these books questions the deontological soundness of those experiments. You can see the covers of these books along with the potential notes written in their pages by clicking on each book cover. Oh my god, okay. Spirit releasement therapy. Regression therapy, present life recall, birth regression, past lives therapy, recovery of soul-mind fragmentation, spirit releasement therapy, remote spirit releasement therapy, treatment of the demonic, spirit possession syndrome. Okay. The Sphinx and the Rainbow. Of time as a river. Okay. 5 and 6 of time, space, reason, and institution, the frontal brain power, the forecasting brain. The puzzle of precognition, Puthoff and Targ, Carl Jung into the labyrinth of synchronicity. The problems of information transmission, contact between worlds, and free will versus determinism. The end of the rainbow. Master guide to psychism. Participation is the key to psychic demonstration. Card reading. There you go. So that's where he got the idea for that from, I guess. Materialization. Sources. What's this sound? Reality of human auras. Protection through the eyes? Can't read that word. Indications of death by aura. Okay, life, death, and consciousness. Out of the body experiences, a light beyond the half-open door, a strangely terrestrial paradise, the ultimate destination. Death and consciousness, a conception of surviving in another world, The visions of dying. Yeah, it all kind of sounds like what they are experiencing, doesn't it? Le Homme Paranormal. Materialization of dematerialization? I don't know. Passage. I can't read French. Sure, I believe you. Cool. Forbidden knowledge. Hidden forces, things unseen, faith and fantasy. Okay. Exploring the paranormal. To be or not to be human. Lysergic acid and transpersonal experience. Paranormal phenomena and a near-death experience. This is getting weird. ESP! When men and women lose the sense of mystery, life will prove to be a grey and dreary business, only with difficulty to be endured. Okay. Not really many notes in this one, is there? Hey, man. Let's just talk about, like, ESP stuff, I guess. Yeah. In search of psychic power. Mass broadcasting experiment. Card guessing again. Analysis of the experimental conditions. And that's it. Exploring inner and outer space. To the higher power who guides us all from our inner and outer space, and to all of us who are growing in awareness of our immortality and our multi-dimensional being. The quest for reality, the inner-outer space connection, consciousness, communication, and the new biology. Darkness walks, the shadow people among us. Ooh, the mystery of the shadow people. Negative shadows. The Hat Man, getting rid of shadows. Okay. So we knew that they were around as well. Another ESP book. This is all real, remote viewing, stranger than you can imagine. Exploring the fourth dimension. If I am here, who's that out there, climbing up the golden stairs? The sacred and the psychic, parapsychology and Christian theology. Demonic possession, the collective unconscious. Hearing noises now. Life beyond the super ESP theory. Explaining the unexplained, mysteries of the paranormal. Hand. Altered States 1, Dream ESP and the Gansfeld. Mind forces. In search of the light, young children as psychic subjects. I knew it! Hopes for the Gansfeld. I knew it. I don't know. Anomalous experiences. The role of altered states of consciousness is in extrasensory experiences. Will we ever know whether extrasensory perception exists? Anomalous experiences during deep hypnosis. Apparitions of black dogs, great. Observing the impossible, eyewitness testimony for darkroom seances. So I think it's time I give myself that pat on the back. Because I'm just such a big genius. That's all the book's gone through. Drawings. Oh, great. Drawings realized by the contestants after each show. The kids' drawing effect seemed to last more or less 24 hours. Reproduction of the notes in French that Jay left on the back of the drawings. Oh my god. Duncan 15. Opposition. Vert Rouge. These are colors, I think. I might be wrong. Fragments. I don't know. I can't speak French. Emily 16. I don't know. They're weird. It's weird. Oscar 14. Isaac 16. Look at all the death. Lovely. Elliot 14. Julene 16. What's going on here? A portal? Christine 15. Connection. Test protocol 12. Ooh. Steve 14. Creature something. Something. Something red. Red entity, I guess. Alex 14. Don't know what's going on in that one. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, I thought that might have been the Jester for a second. No! Evelyn 13. People. Something. I don't know, man. Alistair 15. That is kind of horrifying. Silhouette something. Leviathan. Test protocol 3. Ooh, don't like that. Helen 14. Dimension 7. Okay. That's some kind of castle. So I wonder if that's the the purple dimension, that pink and purple castle. William, 16. I don't know what any of this means. Hieronymus. That's a multi-eyed dude. Ritual. Something. Yeah, that's the jester. And that one just doesn't load. Okay. Well, that's great for me. Network 7. We've got studios. I can't read what this says. Filming crew, history, authors, creative teams, programs. Okay. Okay, sorry. What am I looking at now? There's a fireplace? Are we good? There's things on fire. Maybe this is the Network 7 fire that they were talking about. I'm gonna guess that it is, yes. Well, it looks like they're having fun at least. Nice big bonfire. I don't know what I'm looking at now. Oh. Okay. 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 I think some people might have died. Authors? Okay. Creative teams. Programs? Oh. Okay. Maybe not. Missing footage! That'll be fun. That'll be so fun. Well, I was right. That was indeed a lot of fun. Bonus! David wrote art, video games, board game, merchandising, fan art, credits. Oh, okay, so I'm guessing this is the artwork for the game. This is quite cool. Oh good, the meat room. That, I'm gonna blur that just in case. Oh, we didn't even see this dragon. Madness. Video games. Maze Masters. Oh, okay, it's the art of the dude that made... Gotcha, okay. Maze Masters, 1987. Whoa. Warning, there is a wall monster here. A guard without mercy. Here is my first. The Titanic sailed from Southampton, true or false? Wow, okay. Ha, prepare for your downfall! Trigard is the Dungeon Master's name, true or false? Warning, there is a wall monster here, a guard without mercy. Take rock. Go to the symbol, which one is the odd one out? Press fire when ready. Dungeon passage, outer sanctum. You can do this, you can go this time, but next time I will be less patient. Interesting, okay. This is the next one. So we got something, James, Sean, and Dickon. Funny. Is he called Rat? These are weird things. It's like a whole inventory thing. Got the weird deformed giant, some weird tree things, more skulls, the knight, skelly boys, wall monster, ugly thing. Okay, so that was 1991, and Gods of the Labyrinth. Ooh, oh, I did bad thing. I did a bad thing. Oh, bad times, bad stuff. I probably wouldn't. Oh, I can click it. Oh my god, what have I done? Oh no. Oh no. What did I do? What? 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 Hey, we'll come back to that one. See if there's anything else in there. Let's go board game. Ah. Guessing this is Maze Masters, the board game. Wow, would you look at that? Maze Masters. Amazing! This is quite cool. Merchandise. Okay, I guess we're not reading any of this stuff. Oh, there we go. Fortress of Assassins, based on the thrilling TV series. Okay, Forbidden Gate, Lord Fear's Domain. Are they comic books? You beat the challenge, Labyrinths of Fear, Bad Dreams, the Maze Monster, the Mad Pope, the Cruel God, the cruel god. That's an actual painting, is it not? The Brain Eaters, the Demon Flute, the Death Machine, the Talking Head, the Bird of Death, the Dark Sabbath, the Spider Room, the Death Master, the Lake of Despair. You do not look friendly. Lake of Despair, the Dark Assassins, the Dreaming Skull, Night of the Demons, Visions of Madness, the Evil Monk, the Devil's Fish, Holidays in Hell, Paintings of Blood, the Everlasting Night, the Snow Kingdom, the Jester Room? I don't know what these are. These are getting weird now. Oh, it's all horrifying. It's all dead. It's all horrifying. Oh my god, it's getting worse. Okay. Cool. I don't think it liked me looking at the fan art. Okay, let's see if we can find anything else in this video game. Open sesame! Let's see, is there anything else around here? I don't think there is, you know. Well, I think we've gone through everything. I don't think there's like a definitive end to this game, at least not that I can find. But I'm thoroughly creeped out and thoroughly disturbed. What do you think? But I'm gonna go now. You should subscribe, because more games like this might appear on the channel in the future, if I can find them. And then, go watch this video here. We explore another PC, but this time we have a bit more of like an actual play of the game. And it actually has an ending. You'll like it, trust me. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!